My name's Emma Carter, and I'm 23. Just last week, I walked across that stage, diploma in hand, summa cum laude, all those late nights studying after my shifts, all those weekends I gave up, all that ramen I ate so I could send money home. It was supposed to be my big shining moment, my proudest achievement. We went out to celebrate at this nice Italian place, the kind with the white tablecloths. My dad, Frank, stood up, clinked his glass with this smile, the kind that doesn't reach his eyes, the kind that usually means he's about to drop a bomb. He announced to the whole table, "Congrats, sweetheart, but you're a grown woman now. Time to start paying rent, or find somewhere else to live." My mom, Linda, just nodded beside him, eyes on her plate. They had no clue. Not a single clue that for the past year, while I was acing my finals and working 2 jobs, I'd been quietly squirreling away every extra penny, that I'd already closed on my own little bungalow. The look on their faces tomorrow? Oh, it's gonna be priceless. If you're listening to this, sweetie, I'd love to know where you're tuning in from. Give this a like and subscribe, okay? Because I'm about to tell you how I turned my family's cold, hard ultimatum into the most beautiful, liberating chapter of my life. Growing up, we were the picture-perfect American family, or so it seemed. Big house in a nice Pennsylvania suburb, family vacations to the beach every summer, Christmas mornings buried in wrapping paper. My dad, Frank, was a big-shot tech guy, and my mom, Linda, worked part-time at the library. My little brother, Tyler, and I never went without. But when I was 15, the rug got pulled out. Dad came home one day, face like thunder. He'd been laid off. "Just temporary," he promised over meatloaf that night. "I'll land something even better." But temporary turned into months, then years. The jobs he found paid peanuts. I'd hear him at night, the blue glow of his laptop lighting up his defeated face as he scrolled through job boards, muttering to himself. Mom picked up more hours, but it was never enough. The kitchen counter became a graveyard of overdue bills, and our happy home turned into a place of hushed, angry whispers after Tyler and I were supposed to be asleep. By 16, I knew I had to step in. I got a job bagging groceries after school. My first paycheck was 103s. I handed it to Mom, and even though she said, "Oh, honey, keep it for yourself," I saw the relief wash over her like a wave. That's when it started. What began as me wanting to help my family became, well, an expectation, a duty. When the power bill came with a red final notice, Dad would just look at me. "Em, can you cover this? Just till I get back on my feet?" And I did. I took on a second job waitressing on weekends. My grades slipped a little, but I held on to my B's by the skin of my teeth, working nearly 30 hours a week on top of school. By senior year, I was paying for my own everything: clothes, books, prom ticket, and still sending home $300 a month. Dad had a job, sure, but half his old salary. Mom was still at the library. But somehow we were always behind. What I didn't know? Dad had started gambling. He'd stop at the casino on his way home, convinced he could win back all we'd lost. Mom knew. She told me later she felt trapped, powerless. He'd swear it was the last time, and then he'd be back at the slots within days. And Tyler, my baby brother, 3 years younger, he was completely shielded. While I was pulling double shifts, he was gaming with his friends. When he wanted the new PlayStation for Christmas, magically money appeared. When I needed new work shoes, I bought them myself. "He's just a kid, Emma," Mom would say. "Let him be a kid." So I did. I worked, I studied, I kept the lights on. I watched Dad become more and more dependent on my paycheck, not as a crutch, but as his main source of income. I saw Mom accept it, this new, twisted normal. And I felt them treat me like an adult, while Tyler got to be a carefree teenager. When college letters came, I had my pick. But the full ride to the state school? That was the only choice. I couldn't leave them hanging. "You've always been the responsible one," Dad said. What he really meant was, "You're the one we can always count on to pay the bills." I moved into the dorms but came home every weekend to work. I sent money. I called to check on them. I was the dutiful daughter while my friends were living it up. Parties? Nope. Spring break in Cancun? Not when the property taxes were due. I kept telling myself, it's just until I graduate. Just until Dad gets stable. Just until... But deep down, a quiet, scared voice was whispering, nothing's gonna change unless you change it. College was supposed to be my freedom, but it just became another job. My Mondays? Up at 5 a.m. Shower, cram for my 8 a.m. class while eating a granola bar. Class, then rush to my campus job from 10 to 2. More classes, a quick dinner, study till midnight. Weekends, drive home Friday night, work the dinner rush at the diner. Saturdays, a double shift at the grocery store. Sundays, brunch shift, then laundry, then back to campus. My roommate Chloe would be painting her nails as I dragged myself back in at midnight. This isn't normal," she'd say. "You're basically funding your parents' retirement." I'd shrug. They need me. But do they? Your dad has a job. Your mom works. Your brother's practically an adult. Why is it all on you? Her questions stung because I didn't have answers. It had just happened. Slowly, I went from helping out in a crisis to being their financial safety net. The texts became routine. Internet's getting cut off, can you send $200? Dad's car blew a gasket, $500? Mortgage is short this month. Can you do $800? And I always did. I'd eat peanut butter sandwiches for a week and send every dime. The thank you would last about 5 minutes before the next crisis hit. By sophomore year, I was sending home 70% of everything I made. My life? Ramen noodles, thrift store clothes, and used textbooks. One night, Chloe staged an intervention. "This has to stop. You're killing yourself." "They're not taking advantage," I mumbled. "They need help." "Then why's Tyler not helping? Why'd Dad just get a new big screen TV? Why's Mom posting pics from their staycation?" I was speechless. The TV showed up the same week I'd paid the urgent electric bill. The staycation happened right after I covered the emergency water heater repair. That night, I opened a secret savings account. I set it up so 20% of my paycheck went straight in before I could even think about sending it home. It was only $50 a week, but it was mine. My first act of rebellion. My junior year, I met Harriet, this amazing financial advisor through a campus workshop. She looked at my bank statements and just shook her head. "Honey, you're carrying an adult's burden while you're still a kid yourself, and they'll keep letting you as long as you let them." She taught me about budgets, about investing, about setting boundaries. "Your first loyalty," she'd say, "has to be to yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup." By senior year, my secret stash was looking good. I landed an internship that turned into a full-time job offer with a killer salary. For the first time, I could see a future that was mine. That's when I made my big move. With Harriet's help, I started looking at houses. Tiny, modest places, nothing fancy. I found this sweet little 1950s bungalow on Maple Street. 2 bedrooms, a little yard, a porch that needed paint. The owners were moving and wanted a quick sale. The price? Perfect. With my savings, my awesome credit, thanks to years of being super careful, and my new job offer, I qualified for a mortgage. 3 months before graduation, I closed on it. In secret. Only Chloe and Harriet knew. I told my family I was studying for finals during spring break. Instead, I signed papers with shaking hands. "This," Harriet whispered as I signed, "is the first day of your real life." I didn't put any furniture in it. I'd just go over, sit on the bare floor, and imagine where my couch would go, what color I'd paint the walls. But mostly, I was steeling myself for the fight I knew was coming. Graduation day was sunny and bright. I put on my cap and gown, my heart a mess of pride and dread. "Today is about you," Chloe reminded me. The ceremony was beautiful. When they called my name, Emma Carter, Bachelor of Business Administration, summa cum laude, I walked across that stage like a queen. I looked out at the crowd and saw my family. Mom was waving like crazy. Dad was on his phone. Tyler looked bored. After, they found me. Hugs. "We're so proud." The whole bit. Dad clapped me on the shoulder. Time to join the real world now. We went to this nice Italian place. Dad ordered a fancy bottle of wine. Mom got the lobster ravioli. Tyler got a $30 steak. I got the chicken parm, already calculating the damage. Through appetizers, they chatted about nothing important. No one asked about my new job, my plans. It was like my graduation was an ending, not a beginning. Then, Dad cleared his throat. A toast to our graduate. Emma, you've always been so responsible, always putting family first. I smiled. Then he dropped the bomb. But adulthood means adult responsibilities. Your mom and I think it's time you start paying rent. $800 a month, plus utilities. You'll be making good money now. I nearly choked. More formally, Dad, I've been paying bills since I was 16. He waved me off. Yes, you've helped out, but now it's time for a real arrangement. I was seeing red. Helped out? I paid the entire electric bill last month. That's in the past, he said firmly. We've supported you your whole life. Now it's your turn. I wanted to scream. I wanted to list every single dollar. Instead, I took a breath. I'll think about it. That satisfied him. Conversation moved on to Tyler's summer road trip, funded by my parents, of course. I sat there, pushing food around my plate, sick to my stomach. When the bill came, $178, Dad slid it to me with a wink. Your first adult expense. I paid it with my card, silent. The drive home was ice cold. I stared out the window, adding up every cent I'd ever given them. By the time we pulled into the driveway, I'd made my choice. Tomorrow, my new life began. Tomorrow. I didn't sleep a wink. Lying in my old room, staring at the glow-in-the-dark stars I'd put up when I was 10, I replayed dinner. Dad's casual cruelty. Mom's silence. Tyler's smirk. 6 months ago, I'd sat with Harriet, crying. I need to change, but I'm scared of what it'll do to them. She'd pulled out a folder. Emma, in 4 years, you've given them over $30,000. Your new job pays $60K. If you keep this up, you'll give them $24,000 a year. That's 40% of your life. She was right. I had $15,000 saved, enough for a down payment. So we made a plan. I'd keep paying them until graduation, then I'd vanish. At 6 a.m., I started packing. I was shocked by how little I owned. 2 suitcases, 3 boxes. By 7:30, it was all by the door. Mom was in the kitchen. You're up early. Coffee? No thanks, Mom. I'm moving out today. She froze. What? Because of what your dad said? He didn't mean, I know, I said, grabbing a suitcase. But I've been planning this for months. It's time. She followed me upstairs. But where? Do you have an apartment? She genuinely couldn't fathom I'd done this without them. I have a place, I said simply. Dad came storming out. What's going on? Sophia says she's moving out. It's not about last night, I said, carrying a box down. This has been my plan. I start my new job Monday. You can't afford a place, Dad yelled. The irony was thick. It's all taken care of, I said. I've been saving. Saving? How? You've been helping us. I didn't answer. I just kept moving my stuff. The moving truck showed up at 9. I did a final sweep of my room. As I turned to leave, Mom was in the doorway looking small. I didn't realize how little you have, she whispered. It was the closest she'd ever come to seeing me. I hugged her quick, then went downstairs. Dad was yelling at the movers about parking. Dad, I said, I'm leaving. I'll call when I'm settled. He turned, face red. This is how you repay us? By running away? Instead of arguing, I handed him an envelope. My new address, and a record of every penny I've given you over the past 7 years. Read it before we talk again. Then I walked out, got in my car, and drove to my house. My house. The little blue bungalow looked exactly the same, but now it was mine. Every crack in the sidewalk, every sag in the porch, it was freedom. The movers unloaded my stuff in minutes. That's it? One asked. Just starting out. I smiled. After they left, I stood in my empty living room. The silence was huge, but so was the peace. Furniture was coming later, a bed, a couch, a little table, just the basics. I spent the morning unpacking and cleaning. Around noon, the doorbell rang. It was my neighbor, Doris, with a casserole. "Welcome, honey, I'm Doris. If you need anything, you knock." She told me about the neighborhood, the trash day, the good grocery store. "Oh, and the old owners left bulbs. You'll have tulips next spring." After she left, I felt less alone. Someone cared. That first night, every little noise scared me. But underneath the fear was this deep, deep pride. I'd done it. I'd broken free. Sunday, my phone blew up. "Mom, are you okay?" Dad, "Electric bills due." Tyler, "Dad's freaking out. What did you do?" I only texted Mom back. The others? Silence. It hurt. Years of training to jump when they called, but I held firm. Monday was my first day at my new job. It was amazing. I came home to my quiet, empty house, exhausted but so happy. Tuesday, Dad's texts got frantic. "Power's off. Food's spoiling." Wednesday, Mom called, voice trembling. "Honey, just this once? Jake has a paper due?" The guilt was crushing. I almost caved. But then I heard Harriet's voice. "The pattern stops when you stop it." "I'm sorry, Mom. I can't." Thursday, the doorbell rang again. It was all of them. Dad angry, Mom scared, Tyler confused. "You bought a house?" Dad demanded, pushing past me. "How?" "I saved," I said. "And I got help." "You lied," he accused. "You said you were broke." "I never lied," I said, standing tall. "I gave you $87,342 over 7 years. I worked like a dog, but I also saved for me because no one else would." I pulled up the spreadsheet on my laptop. Every payment, every date, every dollar. The total made Mom gasp. Dad turned pale. "You paid for my graduation party?" Tyler asked, stunned. "Dad said he saved for it." "I paid for a lot of things Dad saved for," I said. Dad muttered, "Everyone gambles a little." "Is that true, Dad?" Tyler asked, looking betrayed. Mom started crying. "I didn't know what to do. He said he'd win it back." "That's what addicts say," I said gently. "And Dad, that second mortgage you took out, the one you told Mom was a small loan?" Dad's shoulders slumped. The fight was gone. "I'll try option 1, he whispered. "I don't have a problem, though." "That's the first thing we fix," I said. "You can't fix what you won't admit." As they left, I called and paid for them to stay at a motel for one night. Just one night. No more rescues. 3 months later, my little blue house is home. I painted the walls, planted flowers with Doris's help. At work, I'm killing it. They even gave me a promotion. The best part? My paycheck is mine. My family? We're healing. It's not perfect, but it's real. Dad's going to Gamblers Anonymous. It's hard for him, but he's trying. Mom got a full-time job and is going to Al-Anon meetings. She told me, "I failed you, Emma. I let you carry the world." Her apology? It healed something deep inside me. Tyler got a job at the grocery store and actually helps out now. He even apologized. "I was a jerk. I didn't see what you were doing." The resentment I had? It's gone. One Sunday, over dinner at my place, Dad announced he got a new job, a good one. "I couldn't have done it without you, Em," he said, squeezing my hand. "Your tough love saved us." Mom hugged me tight. "I'm so proud of the woman you've become." Standing on my porch, watching them drive away, I felt a peace I hadn't known in years. It was painful, setting those boundaries. It was hard, saying no. But it was the most loving thing I could have done, for them and for me. I learned that a real family doesn't drain you, it lifts you up. And sometimes, the bravest thing you can do is stop being the hero and just be yourself.